Hey everyone, it's Rhea.
And Caleb.
Just popping on to do paragraph 9 of Losing My Religion, Breaking Down the Walls to Release What's Inside. It's a book about self-discovery and self-empowerment. So we just read a paragraph and then we talk a little bit about it. And so I will just jump right in. So paragraph 9 says, know that what brings peace to an individual must not be confused with what brings the world or others peace. What I mean by this is sometimes we need to go against the grain. We need to go against what others think, and we need to go against the popular choice in our society. It may go against our upbringing, cause turmoil within our family or group of friends. Our decisions may make us an outcast amongst our peers. We all have a natural need or desire to be accepted by those around us, but the times of the greatest growth and self-discovery in our lives may be the ones where we need to stand alone. Take this as encouragement if you are feeling alone in something that you are going through. Most likely it will have a great impact on who you are and your life. I personally have experienced this when coming from a Catholic background. I chose to divorce my first husband. It was not a popular decision among family. It is painful when you are no longer accepted by those who you thought loved you, but I would never, ever have changed the most challenging decisions in my life, for they have made me who I am. It has made me a truer expression of who I truly am, and living more congruent to my heart always brings happiness and peace. I love this paragraph because it's so stinking super empowering, and it can be as scary as hell, but I love the idea of stepping into your own. And hey Kim, reteaching myself. Yes, very good point. Very good, Kim. Kim is making reference to me reteaching myself because this book I wrote like 10 years ago, and out of my own fear of how I may appear, I never dared actually read it, and I was guided to it. So I'm reviewing it, and in reviewing it myself, I share it with you guys, and it's really beautiful because I find the unfolding of it extremely beautiful, satisfying, and fulfilling. So what this paragraph is saying is the road to self, because you are an individual, others are not going to relate to you sometimes. You are going to be an outcast. You are going to have to enter new territory. And it's beautiful because it shows the deepest growth that you will ever experience. And if you can get out of the head and connect to your inner strength, these are times where you really, really, really have to have a firm anchor in your inner strength, in your trust and belief in yourself, in your God, however way, shape, or form that you connect with that higher energy that is overlooking your life, whether it be your higher self, whether it be universe, whether it be, God, Jesus, whatever the energy is that you connect to. It's all one and the same. It is love, and it's source energy. And I really, really love that because it's the times.
So embrace being an outcast for Christ's sake.
Yeah, embrace, that's a good way to put it. Embrace being an outcast for Christ's sake. Yes, dare to be different because it is in your differentness. This is like what I'm so passionate about, is being different, is standing alone, is expressing the trueness of your heart, because that brings the truest joy, because that shows that you are so connected and one with who you are. You have that treasure chest wide open and you're willing to be vulnerable. Oh my God. So much vulnerability, sensitivity, emotion when you are going through that process, when you are releasing the layers and layers and layers of stuff that you have taken on. Yes, Caleb? Is there a question?
I forgot, but... Oh, yeah. So the outcasted or perceivingly outcasted individual oftentimes has a strength and level of confidence because when you become an outcast, you feel alone. And once you accept that, you become one with yourself in aloneness you find oneness. ALONE.
Very, very good point. I totally agree, because in your aloneness, it's a beautiful, beautiful gift, because you are not counting on the approval, the safety net, the security of others. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but on the journey to self, you do need to disengage, because you don't want to be affected or can't be affected during those times of other people's opinions, beliefs, their own paradigms. And not that any of it is wrong, it is right for them. But even Jesus had to go into the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. He needed to disconnect. He needed to disconnect to connect to the Father, his Father, which is within his heart, which is within our heart. So you do need those times. And it doesn't necessarily have to be for 40 days, 40 nights. It's during those times of meditation. It's during those times when you are alone, when you are walking, when you are in nature, when you are just quiet and sitting in a room with yourself. And it's a beautiful thing to have those special people in your life that create space and give you nothing but love and support during these times, but without all the opinions and even though they're well-meaning, or wanting to give you opinions or advice, you really, it's a time where you really need to tune in and tap in to your own heart and your own heart frequency and that very own inner voice within. And it can be extremely scary, and those are the times sometimes when people delve in and they enter those dark nights of the soul, because what they are doing.
The dark night of the soul is an expression for being called inward, and it's dark because you leave the light and you bring the light within and accept the darkness, because without darkness there's no light, and on the other side of darkness you produce the light. It's like a black hole, and on the other end it's reborn as a supernova.
Yeah, to me the darkness of the soul it's when you feel everything that you ever believed in has let you down, and that's a beautiful thing, because once you realize everything that you did believe in has let you down, or all those things that you're questioning and everything that you've taken on to be part of who you are up to that point, when you release it all, when you
outcast everything,
you've just got rid of all that, and then that stuff could have been pushing down your inner light. It's almost like pushing it on you on your chest. But when you can finally release all that, let it go, process it, do what you need to do, but then the light can come forth, the light of who you are. And not that it's always going to come forth. Some people it comes forth like shh, and other times it comes forth slowly but surely. Like for me, it's been a slow, long journey coming forth, releasing. And beliefs and all that paradigms or what you grew up with, it's not a bad thing. It's all serving you and cultivating you into discovering who you are. It's a beautiful thing to know who you're not, what you don't like, what you don't believe, because then you can let it go and you can open up for your inner self to come forth and to show, share, reveal the treasures within you. And it's beautiful because we really all have our own divine frequency imprint. That very thing that no one in the world can reproduce, recreate to the same exact way, right down to maybe the way you wash dishes, the way you speak, the way you say a word, the way you do your gardening, the way you just your beingness. And that's so beautiful. But to get to that, you've got to let go of all the masks of trying to maybe get approval from others, get that high five or way to go, or you can't look for the affirmation from the outside world when you are on that path of self-discovery. But the outside world will still affirm the journey of your self-discovery through people, through friends, through groups, through your outside world, through your opportunities. As simple as the environment you live in, it is all reflected of your journey, but you don't look for the affirmation. Anything else? Anything you want to share? Can you think of any time in your life where you had to where you've had to step out, be that outcast, go against society?
Yeah, every day of my life.
But your major one was like way back a year ago when you left a good position, a good corporate job. You left all the what typical society would consider to be a
The
successful
grocery list of life. I said, fuck the grocery list of life.
successful platform. Yeah, so he left his job, he left a good paying whatever, he left his motorcycle, he left everything, had to move back home, had to just, go through, and we're always in the process of self-discovery, but he's gone through a major one.
And how can you actually be an outcast and cast out all old beliefs and paradigms if you're constantly trying to check off the grocery list of life, the job, the wife, the house, the kids? Everyone always asks all those questions, but they never ask, are you happy? And so many times people start when you're having an egoic conversation with someone, and I'm so not into that anymore. But I would always ask after they talk about what they do, where they're from, their story, yada yada yada, everything that's actually outside the current now. I always say, are you happy? Because that's all that matters anyway. And then they go,
let me think about that.
Yeah, and that's a pretty damn easy question. How can we all have the same dream? I don't know if that is where that question's coming from, if you could be a little more specific. Lots of people have the American dream is just an indoctrinated program dream, when the same dream ultimately underlying that is to just be happy.
Yeah, I think the ultimate commonality amongst all dreams is what we're really, really shooting for, is that happiness. I believe we're all to have individual dreams. I don't think we all have the same dream per se, but the end result is the same dream, which is just to be happy. Love and light is happy. It's peaceful. It's bliss. It's fulfillment. So if you keep following, just all you have is the now. If in the now you pick that one thing that brings forth the greatest amount of happiness that you can reach for in that moment, and if everybody did that, oh my God, we would all have what you would call the same dream, but it all would be expressed differently through different paths, different vehicles of that expression. Oh, she says fake dream. True dream can only make yourself happy. Yes, thank you, Kim. But for all of us to get there, it's so simple, but we make it so complex. We just choose the highest excitement, happy, passionate thing in every moment. And I know there are things we need to balance in everyday life, but if we can even try to choose a perception of how it's working for us, how we honor everything by expelling that something positive from every situation. And if you can, like, say you have to go to work and you really can't change that, and you have to get that paycheck right now because you are stuck in kind of like a belief that we've cultivated, or you've cultivated. But if in that thing you can say, okay, I am so thankful that I do have a job, or I am receiving money, but I know there are better things coming. It's like you left the door open to receive more. You're not shutting it by saying, this sucks, I'm always going to be stuck in this job and have to do this. But what you're saying is you're leaving the door open and saying, I believe that there's something more for me, but in the meantime, I am thankful for having the opportunity to even have a roof over my head, or a job, or some financial income. So I think it's very, 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 very important. Our perception is everything, because what we focus on and what we perceive is truly what we create. Even if there's a little delay, if you truly perceive the goodness and the positivity in all circumstances, you gradually create that, and your outside world will reflect that gradually. What we're looking at, like we always say, is old news, old energies, old things that we've played out in our minds, our thoughts, and our actions. But if we can pick something in every moment and find the positive, you put out this high frequency energy to be reflected back in your exterior world. And that is the path of discovery and coming into your own alignment and connecting to your own treasure chest and your happiness and your God self within. When you choose those things, you are choosing the God voice within you, because God is bliss, God is happy, God is positive, God is expansive, God is light. It's not heavy, it's not dark, it's not fear, it's none of that. So if we can choose that perception, even without changing our circumstances immediately, you always have the power of thought, mind, focus.
And when you step out into the courage, or step out with the courage of being an outcast, within that outcast, being alone, you actually are forced to deal with all the old beliefs and all the old paradigms that you can then work through and transcend with that faith of love and light. But until you actually step out of the traditional, what is the norm, social norm, just have the courage to step out. You never even really see these beliefs and paradigms and how everything works. So just stepping out into being an outcast alone, into the oneness, is a huge step in itself.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that just to do that. You want to have that drive, that voice. So I don't want to say that everyone is meant to step out of certain ways of living. Some of us are, but some of us are meant to maybe stay in those ways in order to be the light within the system. Like say someone who is in, say, I'm just going to use Catholic religion for an example, and there's a priest, he might not ever necessarily feel that urge to step out of it, leave his priesthood, get married, or live a free and wild life. He might be in that religion to shine his light within that and make changes within the system. So I don't want to dismiss that either. We all have our path. All I'm saying is follow that. And when you have to stand alone, you know, even a priest, that is somewhat going against society standards and having to stand alone, because the norm is to get out, get married, you know. So that in itself is even kind of standalone-ish, because they have to cast out all what society is involved in.
How can you find yourself without being outcasted, because you're continuing to march to the same beat of the drum as the social conditioning? Or how can you be noticed or by yourself or others, or be the light if you continue to march forward with the sheeple? If you're in the herd of the sheeple, you're not standing out and you're not finding yourself, because otherwise you're just going with the bat has.
Well, not if you're happy. It all comes down to the root of it. If you're truly happy, not fake happy. If you're truly happy, that's all that matters. Whatever path, whatever paradigm, whatever belief, whatever road you travel, happiness is the compass if you're on the right path.
And are you happy, truly happy, if you're constantly seeking the next sensical sensation?
I think there's a difference between seeking and anticipating the goodness of life, because life never ends. It's always expanding. So for me, the perfect state of being is being content and happy and immersed in the now, but still having that anticipation that there is still more to come, because that's what life is. It's constantly evolving and expanding. It doesn't mean because someone is anticipating, that doesn't mean they're seeking for their fulfillment. It means they are looking forward. They're open. They're in a receiving mode. I just want to say thank you, Kim. She says that she loves that as a family we can shine together. Beautiful to see. Thank you. And if you watch some of Caleb and I's videos from yesterday, I mean, we do go at it, but it's beautiful because it causes an irritant, because we do disagree a lot, but we come to the point where we come to that center point of balance, because I'm more yin, he's more yang, and we'll have that irritating contrast, but that irritant helps us each to expand and solidify and crystallize the truth of who we are. So it's really, really beautiful. I was thinking of that in the gym today, and I'm like, man, I really enjoyed our videos yesterday, like, because we got really real about his depression, or somewhat real about his depression and stuff and everything he goes through, and just us, you know. And it was beautiful because we both felt good after that. Hey, Lauren. And there was a sense, not that there was a conclusion or an answer, but there was a resolve in that things are as they should be. We both felt more evolved and expanded, and that's a beautiful thing. So growing and expanding and being in harmony doesn't always necessarily mean things are always, so smooth, because there is a healthy contrasting irritant that causes greater expansion in light individually.
Contrastual catalyst.
Contrastual catalyst. Good combo, Caleb. And it causes that spark, like that. You need a little spark to make a fire. And then what does the fire do? It burns off the illusion. It dissipates the mist in the film. Like I used an example yesterday of when you put the defrost in a car and it's really moist and sticky and it's hot and humid. That defrost, that heat, dissipates the moisture, it dissipates the veil. You can see out the windows clear. It takes that dampness out of the air, so you're not so sticky and feeling icky. Well, so does bantering sometimes, and it creates that spark, which creates a flame, which burns off the illusion, which helps to solidify and crystallize our individual truths, but also help them to unify and work together. And I think that's what we all do in the world as individuals, as we do test ourselves or do challenge ourselves, do question. I guess the word is question. And defending your point of view is not a bad thing as long as you remain open to the expansion. Because when you defend your point of view, you really are standing in your power, and that's okay. But as long as you're open to allowing, like I allow his expression to come forth, and then sometimes it makes me see things differently, or all it does is expand my own point of view, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So thanks for that. And thank you. And Mythos, Kim, too, he really wants to come on and do some readings, because I did have him for St. Patrick's Day, because it was his birthday, and he really loved it. And he keeps saying, Mommy, go live, go live. So I'll have to bring my other little guy in at some point. Hey Kelly. Hey, Edgar. Oh, thank you, Edgar. I didn't even know you were here yet, but yeah. So it was a healthy exchange of perspectives, yes. And we were guided, because I was kind of frustrated and I was running, and Eric Madu said, why'd you guys go live? Because as you express, even if it's like BS, and even if you're just pissed, it's good to express, because what that does is it allows the energy to flow, and it creates momentum behind that expression. And then as things come out and they come to light, then you can find some sort of sense of balance or resolution. So yeah, I love I actually thrive on it. And being a Gemini, I love, I don't want to say mind games, but I love stimulation, because stimulation causes expansion. Just like when you stimulate your muscles, they get stronger and better, right? You would know all about that stuff. Do it, me and the girls too. Oh, Kim, it would be cool if we did a live together, like me and Mythos, like we could interpret the cards, let the kids pick, and we could let them pick, and then we could interpret their picks. If you ever want to, let me know or message me, and we could do like a kid's pick, the kid's choice. That would be fun. Yeah. Wouldn't that be fun? And because they're so like naturally open, and their energy and their little vehicles are such clear conduits, they will be picking the card, I think. And
they will teach you some shit.
They will teach us some shit, Kim. That's awesome. That's a really good, that's a great idea. If you want to, let me know. Mythos would love it. So that kind of wraps up, I think, paragraph 9 for the day. Yeah, I'm a Gemini too, Edgar says. Love mental stimulation. There is nothing more satisfying, because as you stimulate the mind, it just opens, and you allow so many other possibilities and potentials to be realized, and you really sit in the creator's seat in that, because you are creating as your thought forms expand. That is a true example of creation and creative powers in motion. Thank you, Edgar.
Well, I forgot.
Awesome point.
Mental stimulation.
And Kelly's a Gemini too, guys. And Kim. Oh my God, and Kim, right, Kim? We got Lauren was on. I don't know if she's still on. She's a Capricorn. But oh my God. So we got Kim, Kelly, Edgar, and me. Holy crapper.
So we have all these unbalanced two-sided Geminis trying to find them.
Actually, we got balanced Geminis, because I believe Gemini is the most symbolic in the being a human yin-yang symbol. We got those contrasting, and I always think this is such a blessing, and I'm so happy to be a Gemini, because we got these contrasting polar opposites within us. And true, the pendulum can swing, but if we can find the balance between the two and integrate them, we are like freaking ass superhuman beings. Not that we all are, but you know, Gemini's just got that yin-yang. We're two, those polar opposites. But that's not a bad thing, because it's the two opposites, like Edgar was saying earlier, healthy, different exchange of perspectives. Well, the Gemini has that all the time going on within them. Constantly do I have those two different perspectives, but that's beautiful, because that is where expansion and new creation lies. Hey, Lauren, I just tapped into both. Oops. both of your energies. Rhea reminds me of Tigger, and Caleb seems determined. Yeah, he's always got a little more serious look on him. It's the Lovers, yes. Yeah, that is the tarot card of Gemini, is the Lovers. Balance of masculine and feminine. Ah, thank you. It's made me extra proud today, Edgar. Duality, yes. Yeah, and I love it. I love it. I'm glad. You wouldn't want to live just life on the other side, just on one end. You want all of it. You want to embrace all of it. Caleb's a Sagittarius. He's a fire sign, so he does light my fire. No, I mean, I light his fire.
She's a wind sign, so she blows the wildfire out of control.
Which they all know. So I blow him out of control and light his fire, but that's a good thing.
I've had to learn to.
And fire stimulates air. I think the fire stimulates, so. Oh my God.
That makes
yeah,
sense.
that's what I said,
You
Lauren.
seem
I know
very-
you're a Capricorn. Very grounded.
Very grounded.
Even keeled, logical, methodical, I think, to some degree. That's an earth sign too, right? So.
And Kim, actually,
I don't understand the whole Chiron thing. I need to learn more about astrology.
But before you move into that, the whole duality, that's the purpose of this incarnation, is through contrastual duality we find singularity, because we are one with every single experience.
And that's why we were so excited, and they're like boxing and kicking each other out of the way to get into a human body and have this experience.
And that's why opposites also attract, because through the opposition, dualness, you find that singularity. And when you find that singularity, it's automatically supported by the balance you find.
Thank you. Thank you. I
You're
feel
welcome.
like Elvis's voice, Kelly, just came through. Thank you very much. I think I got a little Elvis going on here, Kelly, coming from you. All right, guys, this was fun. I love it. If any of you ever want to come and do a dual talk and join in on one of our paragraphs, I'm just doing one paragraph a day. I've overcome my fear and facing myself through this channeled book, and it's been really fun, and it's been very beautiful and very illuminating, and the best thing that I've ever done. So yeah. Up to now. So it's been fun.
Share some topics you want to discuss, and we'll take the jackhammer to the social norms and perspectives that relate to it.
And Kim, I'm serious. Message me if the girls and you want to go on, and we can do a live between the children. Well, Mythos, he gets a little, but he'll have fun with it. All right, guys. Lauren, the wounded healer. What? Okay, so that's what Chiron is the wounded healer. What you inspire in others, you need to heal about yourself. Absolutely. That's one of my favorite quotes, is a teacher teaches what they need to learn. As we heal ourselves, we do heal the world, but it's not even that we're healing the others, because the world is but a reflection of us. So as we heal ourselves, the healing of others is reflected back. We mirror that back and forth.
Well, as we teach, we learn, and as we learn, the teacher learns. So teach, learn, teach, and Ra from the Law of One really expresses that pretty significantly.
All right, you all too have an awesome weekend. Me and Caleb will be on again for our short little paragraphs no matter what. And Kelly, I will schedule our event for next Thursday at 11. And Caleb, I think, is going to be joining us probably, but for him it's too soon to know, but I'll schedule the event. All right, love you guys. Thank you for joining. Love you all. Love all you Geminis and Capricorns.
How about just human beings?
I love all you guys.
Expressions of source.
All right, guys. Thanks.